What's going on, guys? Aero here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now in today's video, I just want to talk to you guys about some Pokemon news that's happened throughout this week, as we've actually gotten some good amounts of information and a few different things have happened, and so I decided to compile all of the information that's come out this week into this one video today. And so here I'm just going to be talking to you guys about all the different things that have happened for Pokemon. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things to talk about, and let's get started. Now, in some of my past videos, I'm sure a lot of you can recall how I was talking about how there was going to be a Nintendo investors meeting that was going to be coming up real soon. And I remember in those videos I was talking about how that meeting might give us a clue as to when we could expect Pokemon on the Switch to come out. And the reason for that is because during these meetings, they talk about how the sales for the hardware and software are doing at Nintendo, giving like sales numbers for the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch, as well as the sale numbers for like their big franchises and big games like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. But at the same time, after all of that is done, they actually release a document that has all of the games that they've announced so far for all of their systems and like a release time frame for when you can expect these games to come out. Now, for the longest time, Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch has always been listed as 2018 or later in these documents, and so we were all hoping that maybe even if Pokemon Switch isn't coming out this year, that we could just get a confirmed release year for when Pokemon Switch was going to be coming out in these documents. Well, the Nintendo investors meeting has finally happened, so let's take a look at their official documents and see if the release year for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch has finally been updated. So you can see right there that Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch is still listed as 2018 or later, and I think it's pretty interesting how Nintendo really doesn't want to budge with the release year for Pokemon Switch. They don't want to confirm if it's coming out this year or if it's coming out next year, and I think the only reason that they would want to do that is because even if they know that the game isn't coming out this year, to investors, Pokemon is a huge franchise. Pokemon sells so many copies, and they think that obviously if Pokemon comes out on the Nintendo Switch this year, then that's going to be huge for the Nintendo Switch. It's definitely going to get a lot of sales, and so that would keep investors wanting to invest in Nintendo just for the fact that this Pokemon game has a possibility of coming out this year. But I still think it's cool, and I don't think that this rules out a chance for Pokemon Switch to not be coming out this year. I just think that the only thing that we got to keep in mind is if Pokemon Switch is in fact coming out this year in 2018, I think that the reveal for the game has to be pretty soon, as usually a lot of times Pokemon games are revealed pretty early and then they have a good amount of time to hype up the game before they release, usually around the holiday time. I think recently Pokemon games have been pretty much coming out every November. So yeah, there's definitely still a chance for Pokemon Switch to come out this year, but I feel like if the game is in fact releasing in 2018, then I think that the reveal for the game would pretty much need to be right around the corner. Now, whenever a new Pokemon game is coming out, Game Freak loves to have a lot of time to be able to hype up the game and get people excited to play them. And I think that this is pretty easy to see with Pokemon Sun and Moon. You guys remember with Pokemon Sun and Moon, we pretty much had a new trailer like every single week that showed off at least a new Pokemon, a new move, or some new Alola form or something like that. And I definitely feel like that's the case with Pokemon Switch. They know how many people are excited for this game, and I think that they would want to have a good amount of time in order to hype up that game so that many people are excited to play it. Now, if you remember with Pokemon Sun and Moon, we actually got the games revealed to us in February, but we didn't get any gameplay alongside it. They pretty much just revealed the logos for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then they showed like a small teaser trailer where they showed some of the developers at Game Freak working on the games, but besides that, we pretty much got no gameplay for Pokemon Sun and Moon when they were initially revealed. So this wasn't a good thing at all, because I remember every time the Pokemon company tweeted about something or Mr. Masuda tweeted about something, there would just be a ton of people replying saying, show off Pokemon Sun and Moon gameplay, show us the starters, we want to see gameplay, kind of like right now how everybody keeps asking for a Pokemon Switch reveal. Now, I remember that at one point there was actually going to be a special live stream for a TV show in Japan where they were going to have Mr. Masuda and Mr. Omori on the show to talk about Pokemon Sun and Moon. And I remember that everybody was hyping this up to show off like Pokemon Sun and Moon gameplay, and they were talking about how the starters are going to get revealed here, how they're going to show the legendaries. And once this event happened, they didn't show any gameplay. They pretty much just showed off the teaser trailer again for like them working on the games, and they talked a little bit about how the development was going for Pokemon Sun and Moon. And I remember that after this stream, there were so many people that were upset at the Pokemon Company and furious on Twitter, tweeting at Mr. Masuda and the Pokemon Company saying like, where's the gameplay? Where's the gameplay that you promised? They showed off nothing. And I remember that even Mr. Masuda replied to someone at one point saying like, gameplay? When did I say that there was going to be gameplay? And so a lot of people just didn't like how long they had to wait to get the first look at Pokemon Sun and Moon after the game was revealed in February, as we actually didn't get anything about Pokemon Sun and Moon revealed to us until May. And in May, that's when we got the trailer for like the starter Pokemon and the legendaries and stuff like that. So going back to Pokemon Switch, I feel like if the Pokemon Company wants to avoid something like this happening, where they show off the logos for the new games and then make us wait a few more months until we actually get some gameplay on them, they might be saving the entire reveal for Pokemon Switch in May so that they could show off the new games and have a bit of gameplay to show us as well. But I think besides that, there's really no other reason that they could be saving the reveal for us if the game is coming out this year. So I feel like if the game is coming out in 2018, the reveal would pretty much have to be within the first 2 weeks of May, as even with Pokemon Sun and Moon, that trailer that showed off the legendaries and the starters, that came out pretty early in May. So I feel like within the first 2 weeks of May, if the game is coming out this year, then we'll probably see a reveal for it. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to want to bring up the fact that Pokemon Switch could still be revealed in June, because even like last year, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were revealed to us in June, a week before E3. But the thing that you need to understand is that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were mid-generation games, and because of how Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are 90% similar to Pokemon Sun and Moon, they don't really need a lot of time to hype those games up because there's not a lot of new content. They pretty much just had to show us like Ultra Warp Ride and had to show us like the Ultra Recon Squad and Team Rainbow Rocket. There just wasn't a lot of new things. But with new generation games, and that's probably what Pokemon Switch is going to be, they need to have a lot of time to show us like the new Pokemon, the new characters, the new region and stuff like that. Now, I know that a lot of you might also want to say, well, maybe they'll reveal Pokemon Switch at E3 and then have the launch later this year, but the thing that's pretty interesting is that Game Freak has actually never revealed a Pokemon game at E3. Now, obviously there's a first time for everything, but I just think that Game Freak doesn't like to reveal stuff at E3 because they don't like having other big games overshadow Pokemon. However, I feel like if Pokemon Switch is coming out next year in 2019, then Game Freak could show off a small teaser or like a trailer at E3 and then just say that the game is coming out next year, as this would be like the same exact treatment that Nintendo did with Zelda Breath of the Wild, as if you remember at E3 2016, that's when we got the full-blown reveal for Zelda, and then the game ended up coming out early 2017 in March. So yeah, the never-ending wait for Pokemon Switch still continues, but the next thing that I actually want to talk to you guys about is the mythical Pokemon Zeraora. So as you all know, Zeraora was the last mythical Pokemon of Gen 7, and we were all waiting for the Pokemon Company to officially reveal this Pokemon so that it could wrap up Generation 7, and we did get that reveal earlier this month where they showed off Zeraora in like a small trailer, and they mentioned that yes, Zeraora does in fact exist in the game. But the one thing that we still don't know about Zeraora is when exactly we're going to be able to get it, as in that trailer it pretty much just said that more details are coming soon, and so we don't know exactly when we're going to be able to get Zeraora. But the thing that's really cool is that Game Freak has actually released a special battle code that enables you to be able to battle a Zeraora even though it hasn't been officially released yet. So it's really cool. I'll put the code up on your screen right now if you guys want to check it out and try it for yourself, but all you have to do is pretty much put this code in like the battle video section of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, and it's going to be able to let you have like a mock battle with Zeraora. So it's pretty cool. I think this is the first time that they've ever done something like this where you can battle an unreleased Pokemon. Now, because of this battle video from Game Freak, there is now officially one legal Zeraora that's inside of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. And so because of how the hacking scene and the data miners are so good with Pokemon on the 3DS, they instantly decrypted all of the data from that battle video and tried to figure out as much information as they can about Zeraora. So in decrypting all of the data from Zeraora, we were actually able to get the official release date for when we can expect Zeraora to come out. Now, if you guys want to see this for yourself, you can see it right here. It looks like that Zeraora is officially going to be releasing on July 13th. Now, this date should sound familiar to you because this is the day that the Pokemon movie Everyone's Story is going to be releasing in Japan. So I think it makes a lot of sense because we already know that Zeraora is going to be featured in this movie. So I think it makes a lot of sense to have Zeraora be available the same day that the movie comes out. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to do the same exact thing with Marshadow, where because of how the movie is going to be released in Japan first, that's when the Japanese people are going to be able to get Zeraora in their game, and we're going to have to wait till the movie comes out later in the year in America and the other places in the world, and that's when we're going to be able to get Zeraora. So like always, they're probably going to have Zeraora available in Japan a few months before we're actually going to be able to get it in our Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon games here in the US and probably Europe and other places as well. So yeah, that's all the information that we have about Zeraora, but the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is actually a recent patent that Nintendo and Game Freak filed for something that appears to be related to Pokemon. Now, I'm going to put the patent up on your screen so you can see what I'm talking about, but they're talking about how like these trading cards are going to be able to be animated and how you can move them around and stuff like that. So it looks really cool. You can see right here that this picture is actually really similar to what the Pokédex screen looks like in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'm going to put it up side by side so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that picture in the patent does look very similar to the Pokédex screen in Sun and Moon. So that looks cool. And also the creator of the patent is actually Koji Kawada. And if you don't know who that is, he's worked on a lot of the UI for Pokemon games with like Pokemon Sun and Moon, as well as Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so there could be a very interesting UI that's being worked on for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I tweeted about these patents on my Twitter as well. I think that there's just a lot of potential for some cool things to happen in Pokemon Switch because of these patents. Let's take a look at my Twitter right now and see what some of you guys are saying. I'm going to scroll to the tweet right here. So I said, what do you all think about the recent trademark from GameFreak and Nintendo about Pokedex animations and the possibility of having Amiibo Pokemon cards? Reply to this tweet with your thoughts and you could be featured in my next video. So let's see what some of you guys are saying here. Alkaz is saying here, I tweeted this to you earlier, but I'll rephrase it here. It would be cool if Pokemon Switch came packaged with an Amiibo card, and on it you could save your battle team data, and that way you won't have to bring your Switch to VGC, just bring the card and tap it onto the available Switch. And so wow, this is actually a really cool idea. I never thought of something like this, and I think this would make Pokemon Switch a lot more fun and really easy for VGC as well. I'm gonna give this one a like as well. I think that this is a really cool idea. It kind of reminds me with like Splatoon 2, how I'm pretty sure with like Splatoon 2 on the Amiibos, you can have like certain gear presets and weapon presets on it, so you won't have to go like looking for all the gear. You can just scan that Amiibo in and you can instantly get that preset. So I think it would be really cool for something like that with Pokemon, but I don't know how people would feel if like other people could just steal their teams and like take their cards and put them onto their Switch. I don't know how that could work, but I think it is a very good idea. Roger here is saying, I welcome any new features that come to Pokemon games, but I would want the cards to have options, like maybe unlock a Pokemon or item. I don't want them to be a necessary thing to have. So I definitely agree with you on that as well. I think they wouldn't get a good rep if a lot of people had to like buy Pokemon Amiibo cards just to get new Pokemon added into their game. I think a lot of people would be really upset at Game Freak if they decided to do something like that, where like if you want this special Pokemon, you would have to buy the card for like $6 and then put it into your game. I don't feel like that they would do something like that, but hopefully it's something that you don't have to buy just in order to play the game, and it's just something cool that gives you an extra option. Bulbasaur is saying, I guess it's okay, but I don't want to have to pay to get my favorite Pokemon. I think that it's alright if they just do it. Maybe they'll only do it for like a certain fan favorite Pokemon, but even if they do it to all of the Pokemon, I feel like you would only need to buy the favorite Pokemon that you really like. Like I think judging from your profile picture, you probably like Bulbasaur a lot, so you probably would want to just get the Bulbasaur one. I don't think that you would really need to get every single like 800 Pokemon like their card or like their Amiibo card, but I think that you would probably just want to get your favorite ones. Morgan here saying, I think it's better not for a main series to pull a Skylanders, making you have to get the card for the Pokemon in the game. Yeah, I don't think that they'll do something like that. I think it'll just be like a cool extra option that makes the game easier for you or something like that. Same thing in like Breath of the Wild, like it just gave you more weapons and stuff like that. It didn't make it necessary. Steel Wing is saying, could this be real? Absolutely. Does it interest me? Honestly, not really. Not quite sure how they would make the cards interesting when we already have a TCG, and the last time that Nintendo released Amiibo cards, they didn't turn out too great. So I'm pretty sure you're talking about Animal Crossing. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. Like obviously this patent could not even be related to Amiibo Pokemon cards, but it could be related to somehow what it's going to be like with the UI and how the game is going to be looking like in Pokemon Switch. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. Anthony saying, this is pretty cool. Amiibo cards would add a whole new dimension to the gameplay aspect. Very true. Bubblegum Dragon is saying, I love the idea, but my wallet doesn't. This reminds me of Webkinz cards where you could find a code for an exclusive pet to have in the game. I have a feeling Ultra Shinies might work the same way, but I could be wrong. I really hope that they don't do something like that where you pretty much just have to buy a lot of stuff in order to get like rare Pokemon into their games. But I feel like they would probably do something where it's like balanced and it's not like you would have to buy the card just to get like really good things inside of the game. Maybe like it'll be a card where if you buy it, you can get like 50 full restores added into your game or something like that. Maybe that way they could do it, but I would be kind of upset if they made you buy the cards in order to get certain Pokemon. Scroll down a little bit here. Nick here saying, Amiibo cards would be cool. It would be cheaper for consumers than making 700 plus actual Pokemon Amiibo, and that's definitely true. I think with cards they could just have little packs where like maybe you could have like a Kanto pack or like a Johto pack and just have Pokemon from different generations inside of each pack or something like that. There's a lot of potential for what they could do. I'm going to scroll down a little bit down here. Team Rocket Grunt here saying, I love the Amiibo. I wish we could have them for the Switch game. I would love collecting something for Pokemon Switch. So I know a lot of people would like it, but I think some people wouldn't want how it would probably cost a lot of money to be able to get all of them. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of cool things. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your responses. I wish I could read all of them, but I don't want to make this video too long. And if you guys want to be featured in videos like this, then definitely go and follow me on Twitter at @Aero. And so there you go, guys. That's all the information that we have here about Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch, the release date for Zeraora, and the new patents that Game Freak and Nintendo have filed. Definitely be sure to click that like button if you guys enjoyed this video, and also comment down below and let me know how you feel about all of this. Are you excited for Pokemon Switch? Do you think that the reveal is soon? What do you feel about the release date for Zeraora, as well as these new patents that Game Freak and Nintendo have filed? Be sure to let me know all of your thoughts down below. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon content in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad, and go follow me on Twitter at @Aero. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.